Hey folks, Phil Gallagher here for another Legacy League. Today we're doing a Tier 3 donation deck list. So in case you're not familiar with my system, what a Tier 3 deck list means is that the donor had an idea and said, I don't know how the details work. Can you make this work? So we're going to go pretty far deep into the brew tank here today. So Joe E sent me this Clever Lumimancer deck list. This is going to be our starting point. And Joe essentially said, hey, I saw your Clever Lumimancer video from a couple weeks back. I've been messing around with similar ideas in Modern, and I wanted to see if I could try to port this to Legacy. So Joe's idea essentially was that you try to use Glistener Elf as a secondary way to have a good 1-drop that is very good with the combination of Invigorate and Berserk. So basically, if you cast Invigorate and Berserk with a Clever Lumimancer and you do nothing else, that's basically lethal. You're just shy of lethal doing that. And a Glistener Elf Invigorate plus Berserk is lethal. And so the deck played Cavernous Souls because most of the things were humans, and it played a couple of Inkmoth Nexus as additional lands. And I think this is a fine starting point. Here were kind of my concerns. I was concerned that Invigorate requires you to have a forest no matter what. So if you're playing Cavernous Souls and Inkmoth Nexus, then you have 5 lands that don't necessarily allow you to cast Invigorate for free, 6 when you start counting the planes. And I was also kind of worried that if you have like both infect creatures and regular damage, a lot of times you're going to end up like getting part of the way one way, and then you're going to try to do it all the way the other way. And that seemed a little bit awkward to me. So I sat down for a while, and I timed it. It was like half an hour. Like I sat there, kind of bashed my head against the wall, and went like, how do I make this work? And I think I've come up with something that's viable. I spent like half an hour brewing it. I ran it through a handful of test games, and it seems okay. So here is what we're going to try. Faithful to Joe's visions, we are a Clever Lumimancer Invigorate Berserk deck. But I wanted to cut the infect package. In Joe's initial email, they said, hey, if you don't like the infect package, why don't you try Tarmogoyf? And I said, I think I can do you one better. So we are going to try out Dragon Guard Elite as our other sort of enabler. It's Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And technically, it has an activated ability that for 6 mana, you can double the number of +1/+1 counters on it, but I never expect to activate that in this league. That's flavor text. And we're also going to play Witherbloom Apprentice, which has seen some play in Legacy combo decks. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, I have added black to this deck so that we can play Chain of Smog. Target player discards 2 cards. That player may copy the spell and then may choose a new target for that copy. So with any Magecraft card, you can target yourself with Chain of Smog, copy it again, and re-trigger Magecraft, and repeat that loop infinitely. So, with a Clever Lumimancer, you can go turn 1 Clever Lumimancer, turn 2 Chain of Smog, and that's a kill. Or, turn 2 Witherbloom Apprentice, turn 3 Chain of Smog, the kill. Or, Dragon's Guard Elite, plus Chain of Smog on turn 3, that's a kill. So we have 3 different backdoor, like, cheese a win with Chain of Smog win condition. Or we just have this Invigorate Berserk package, which will be pretty good with all of these creatures. Now, it might be the least good with Witherbloom Apprentice, but here's the thing. If you fire off 3 or 4 spells in a turn, and then an Invigorate and a Berserk is involved somewhere in there, you're probably going to get to lethal. In goldfishing a handful of games, I found that I was pretty consistently killing on turn 3 or turn 4. I still do have some concerns. This mana base isn't perfect. This mana base is fine. I think it's good enough for the idea that I have. But I would need to play a league to really get a feel for things. Here's the thing. I think I want to have one of each basic land because like Delver is a thing that exists. And I think I'll have some ability to like stick a Witherbloom Apprentice into play and like just kind of like grind and stay alive versus aggro decks. But if I get Wasteland out of the games, that's not the case. So we have a plains, a swamp, and a scrubland that don't allow us to cast Invigorate for free. So we're down to 3 sources that don't let us Invigorate for free, as opposed to the, what was it, like 6 before. So that's pretty good. We are occasionally going to get the hands, though, where like we have like multiple basics or something like that, and we can't quite cast all our spells. But I think this is better. I eliminated Cavernous Souls because if I am adding Chain of Smog to the deck, which requires true black mana, then Cavernous Souls, it wouldn't actually be a black source for that. So I think the mana base I put together is okay. I need to see it in action and more than just goldfishing to see if that's actually the case, though. As far as the sideboard goes, I did a lot of tinkering. The original version had a handful of Hate Bearers, which I think was reasonable, but if I'm adding black, I can add the more generic Thoughtseize, which should be good against just about any combo deck. I moved the Swords of Plowshares that were in the main deck to the sideboard, rationalizing that I still definitely want them versus Delver and a handful of other decks. But in game 1, I'm hoping to cheese the win, and in games 2 and 3, I'll be a little bit more interactive. Then we have Endurance as pseudo Delver hate, as well as Graveyard Interaction, Rest in Peace, and we round it out with a couple of Force of Vigors. I'm really excited to see this one in action. One way or another, this should be a lot of fun. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 5 days a week. If you're a regular follower, throw me a like. It's the easiest way to support me for free. And if you want to give this one a try, my donation info, as well as the deck list via Top Deck, is available in the video description. Let's battle. Okay, my opening hand has no creature here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this one. Ooh, okay, so this one is missing black mana, but has a combo kill. How acceptable is that? A little sketch, seeing as I do absolutely nothing without it. Without a black source. I think I'm mulligan this again. Okay, I am on 5 here. I will be keeping this. I'm going to pitch 1 land, probably the plains. And then it's the question of, like, do I want the second redundant creature, or do I want the Abundant Harvest as a cantrip? I think I want the redundant creature. Although, honestly, it's kind of close. We need to get a white source here. I have a black source in hand already. I'm just going to grab a Savannah. See how this goes. Okay, we have gotten the Force of Will pitching a Ponder, so it's good. A good thing we have a redundant creature. Maybe I should have kept the Abundant Harvest over the Berserk. Second Berserk, you say? Really, I should not F6. I have mutagenic growth in this deck that I don't want to, like, telegraph. Days is rough. Okay, after the double mulligan, I now expect to lose this game. But we're probably not going to concede because, like, we can just top deck, like, Idiot into Chain of Smog and just win the game. Hey, there's Idiot. Welcome. Oh no, that feels like a lightning bolt. Oh, maybe not. Nice, did not get bolted. Okay, how much damage is this? So, I Berserk, it becomes a 3/3. Berserk again, it becomes a 4/4, and then I double to 8/8. So we're not in scary territory yet. So we'll just bash for 2. And next turn, we'll probably do some disgusting things with the Clever Lumimancer. Okay, we tried. Okay, we're playing against Show and Tell. So those Thoughtseizes in my sideboard will do me well. Okay. They don't, quote-unquote, have it yet. That's good. Do I kill next turn? I probably kill next turn, right? Probably. Also, I think I just, like, super miscounted with Berserk. Alright, so I cast Berserk. I go up to 3 power. That doubles up to 6. Cast Berserk. I go up to 7 power. That doubles up to 14. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I have a kill next turn. Get in there. Now let's play the Witherbloom Apprentice. Okay, yeah, Impulse away. I'm just hoping not to die. I have you next turn. Turn 6 is pretty slow, but after a double mulligan and 3 of my creatures dying, probably okay. Okay, well, not dying, getting countered. Alright. My creature has resolved. Let's see if I die to Show and Tell this turn. Oh, I don't. Nice. Okay, these are instants, so I can go for this in combat. Send them. After no blocks, we'll Berserk this one. And we'll always yield to both of these. Alright, we are up to 6 power. Try to go up to 14 power. Oh my gosh, we got it. Nice. Okay, so we will sideboard 4 Thought Seizes. That's probably it. We shouldn't need Apostle's Blessing. We shouldn't need Mother of Runes. The vast majority of the time, anyway. So I have 2 more slots I can work with these Mother of Runes here. They could be Apostle's Blessings. Could be Endurances. They could be Force of Vigors. I don't think I'm going to beat an Omniscience that gets into play most of the time. Because if my opponent goes Omniscience and then any one spell, I think that probably, that one spell, whether it's like a Grizzlebrand, an Emrakul, whatever, it probably beats me. So I don't think I'm going to board any more than this. Like, Mom can turn sideways for 1 point of damage. And my opponent might have a couple of Braids or something. This looks like a mulligan to me. Like, again, we were just talking about Mother of Runes being kind of weak. We have 4 lands here. No Invigorate, no Berserk, no Chain of Smog. So we'll mulligan. How's his second hand? The second hand is probably fine. The redraw in the Manamorphose. I use the Manamorphose to cast Witherbloom Apprentice after Thought Seizing, or I just do this. Yeah, this is fine. I'll pitch the Mutagenic Growth, I guess. The game I'm really hoping to win is game 3, if I'm being honest. Like, I want to win that game when I'm on the play, where I get to, like, come down before days. Oh, interesting. Turn 1 Brainstorm. That's a little weird. Or at the very least, it's weird to do it at sorcery speed. Oh, there's a Chain of Smog. So theoretical turn 3 Goldfish is available. Okay, there's a Force of Will. Oh, actually, there's a world where I turn to my opponent if they show and tell me. I just put in Witherbloom Apprentice and then Chain of Smog kill. That would be fucking dope. Okay. Yeah, I do not care about your Ragavan. Like, I get that that's a good card, but I am going to, like, kill you very dead when I kill you. Like, we're not grinding here. Alright, yeah, you can have your Abundant Harvest. See what they name. Okay, they chose land. Okay, cool. Now I don't have to cast Manamorphose ahead of time. I am just going to jam this into Daze in an attempt to just win the game next turn. I don't think I have the luxury of, like, waiting. I just don't think I'm that sort of deck. Like, we're in a race scenario. Okay. Unexpected, but sure. All I need to do is be able to cast this Manamorphose. And then I win. I can also just try to trade with this thing in combat. Yeah, I can also just, like, try to give this up. And then have, like, double creature left over. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just attack in. See what my opponent does with this. I assume they just take that hit. Then I'll play a Clever Lumimancer. Call it a turn. Uh-huh. Yeah, your Dash Ragavan is fine. I'm not super concerned about that. I have the higher life total here. No blocks. Nice Invigorate. Then Ragavan will bounce back to hand. Nice. So let's throw this out here. Now do I hold back this to try and trade it? How do I want to play this? I could also just, like, trade Mom for Ragavan. That's not the end of the world either, and just, like, keep attacking. That way some of the Mutagenic Growth type cards can have a better chance at just killing my opponent. Yeah, I'm fine with continuing to be the beatdown here. I could also take 1 more hit for Ragavan and then just keep Mom around. That is valid as well. My opponent taking the Ancient Tomb damage early means that they're just a little behind the life total race. Not a lot, but a little. Okay, so I just realized something, and I'm sure YouTube was screaming at me. I was thinking of this as a green card, but I can just, like, fucking kill my opponent. My bad on that. I'm just going to go ahead and take the hit here accordingly. We're going to pretend that I was waiting for backup with Mother of Runes before I went for the combo kill. Okay, that's what we're going to pretend. But I might have given my opponent a little bit more time to draw into some counter magic. Yep, Lotus Petal is fine. That, for example, is hardcast Force of Will mana now. That's just a great example of, like, stream brain, where, like, okay, I am I am focused on X thing, and then Y thing all of a sudden becomes relevant, and you just totally miss it. I'm glad I caught that now, though, rather than, like, eating that in the YouTube comments later. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Attempt some Manamorphose. Yield to that as well. Okay, I need at least one black. I'll probably take a green here as well. And so now the question is, do I play the Elite first, or do I play around like a Spell Pierce effect? I probably play the Elite first. Let's go the Elite, and then attempt Chain of Smog. Put all sorts of triggers on the sack, and see if my opponent is dead. Okay, my opponent is Cunning Wishing. Getting a Daze. So they boarded out the Daze, so now it's in the sideboard, so they can hardcast it. Okay. Alright, so there's a punish for playing this, but I think I'll just probably kill my opponent in a fair way now instead. So, like, they take 6 here, and go to 3. So unless they combo off, I should have them next turn. So I can just, like, protect and send a creature in. That's actually very important. They needed that in order to be able to cast Show and Tell this turn. They needed either an island or a Lotus Petal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you're now facing down lethal from Mother of Runes, protecting this. I can't actually cast this for free. That's fine, though. So let's go pro-red. A flawlessly played match. Yup. Oats. Okay, we played a little sloppy there, but I think my opponent, like, very much overly sideboarded, right? Like, there's these Magus of the Moons and these Ragavans that aren't actually contributing towards the combo plan of killing me. And in neither game did they actually, like, draw the Show and Tell side of the deck. They drew this crap instead. And I think the Show and Tell side of the deck and cantrips to get there would have easily beaten me. Okay, this has a turn 3 Goldfish, turn 2 Dragon's Guard Leak, turn 3 Chain of Smog. There's also, like, Invigorate, Berserk, Mutagenic Growth that we can just kill with too. Like, we'll have options. I guess if there's something that I want from this hand, it's a second creature. So that, like, if I get Lightning Bolted or something, I'm not just dead in the water. Oh, okay, we're playing against Elves, in which case the whole Invigorate Berserk thing is pretty sick. I draw a land, I kind of have everything that I could possibly need. Because then I could, like, Chain of Smog combo plus Berserk. Otherwise, I might just kill my opponent anyway via trample damage. Oh, okay, there's the other land. Yeah, we're good. Alright, there's a Dragon's Guard Elite. Yup, that's fine. That's also fine. Oh, that's scary. Okay. Yes. So there can be an untap here. The second Wirewood. Oh, there is not, though. Okay, do I need to show the Chain of Smog combo? I guess I should math. So if I cast Mutagenic Growth, my power, I get a +1/+1 power, so I go up to 5 power. Then I cast an Invigorate, which is +5/+5, so I go up to 10 power. And I cast a Berserk, which puts me to 11, and I double, that's up to 22 power. And then I cast a second Invigorate. Yeah, so I don't need to show Chain of Smog. I can just go in there via trample damage. Yeah, I won't show my opponent another color. None of this stuff is sorceries or anything. Just bash on in. Opponent will block. And I'll do my thing. Pay the life. Always yield. I'll invigorate. You gain some life. Pull Berserk. This creature is going to be thick. That is a 46-12. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Okay, and that is death. Turn 3 Goldfish. Alright, so now the question is, what do we want for Elves? They're not really going to interact with my creatures, so I would really just like Chain of Smog hands. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to interact with my opponent. Like, the Mother of Runes and Apostle Blessings let me get through chump blockers. I think those are important. And then the question is, like, are Swords to Plowshares and Thoughtseizes worth it? I'm not sure, honestly. It may just be a race, kind of like the Elves Mirror is, where, like, you don't necessarily want to interact, you just want to do your thing and hope you can do your thing first. A lot of my opponent's best hands will beat my best hands. But I think our average hands are probably of similar power levels. Maybe Manamorphose is medium enough, especially on the draw, that I play like a Thoughtseize on the draw or something, like Thoughtseizes on the draw. Not sure. I'm gonna play Thoughtseize on the draw. I'm not sure if that's better than Swords of Plowshares, but I don't think I can play both Swords and Thoughtseize. I think I'd rather stop like a Glimpse or Natural Order from hitting play. My mana doesn't quite work here, and the hand is not fantastic anyway. Skip this. This is not great mana. How is it if I throw back the Thoughtseize? Still kind of medium. I have no way to trample through. I think I'm gonna go deeper. This is probably the best hand thus far. I keep 5 of these. One of these elites goes back. And then I guess the question is, like, do I want the thing that can 100% kill if I draw Chain of Smog, or do I want the thing that's better with the random pump spells? I think I want the thing that's better with the random pump spells. Which elf do you have? That elf. It's a scary elf. Fuck! God damn it! Okay, no, it's fine. That's still a very, very, very good draw. It does things with Berserk that are very important. Ooh, my opponent has Green Sun. Or sorry, has Swords to Plowshares. I'll be taking that. And that makes me reevaluate some of my cards a little bit. I'm very glad that I know about this now. So if I draw a 3rd land in my next 2 draws, I have a turn 3 Goldfish through blockers. Okay, no Green Sun? Interesting. Ooh, that's not bad. This needs to be Savannah. I think I just play this. I think my opponent's plan was to fetch a Dryad Arbor here. Oh no, it was Hardcast Once Upon a Time. Fine. Heritage Druid is probably okay with the amount of resources that my opponent currently has. Yep. Ooh. So is this going to be a Green Sun for an Elvish Visionary, I imagine? Then if my opponent draws another 1-drop, they can go ahead and cast it if they want. By tapping their critters. Land, 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 land. Nice. Okay, so I need to Berserk to give it Trample. And then I just Chain of Smog. I will buy you here. I'll Berserk my creature. And I'll Chain of Smog myself. Nice, nice. Okay, so I click this a bunch of times and then I kill my opponent in combat. I'm just going to mute this for you all. Okay, after I copied the second time, my opponent saw what was up and conceded. GG's. We are now 2-0. We actually haven't dropped a game yet. Alright, my hand has a turn 3 Goldfish with some degree of protection. This hand is great. Good luck. You too. Okay, that's an unfair land, but my hand's pretty fast, so I don't think I need to worry too much. I'll be thinking Doomsday as of right now. Okay, that's fantastic. Another layer of protection for later. Grab a Savannah now, I guess, and play Mom. I could have gone with 2 basics to start off the game, but I'm not super expecting Wasteland after seeing Underground Sea. You know, I'm expecting Lion's Eye Diamond type cards more than anything else. Let's fetch and play the Apprentice. No attack here, and then we'll just go for the Throat next turn. Rubland is interesting. Oh, 5-color Storm? Okay. Nice Massacre. Sure would be a fucking shame if something happened there. We'll give it protection on the way out the door, I guess. I don't expect anything to be able to hit it here. Black. Oh, are you going? Are you massacring me and going? Okay, I would have been impressed. I'll just fetch. I don't think there's anything here that can really mess with me. But I've been wrong before. This is an each opponent. I guess I'll just Apostle's Blessing this. Actually, do I want to play around Daze instead? Yeah, the Apostle's Blessing probably doesn't do anything. Chain of Smog myself here. Okay, that doesn't stop it. And I'll go ahead and just do this infinitely until my opponent dies. Okay, and my opponent is dead. Yeah, so it looks like we were playing against some 5-color TES variant. In which case, I probably want the Thoughtseizes. The Apostle's Blessings and Mother of Runes type cards become less good. I just want to get my opponent dead. I will probably play Force of Vigor, though. That can eat artifact mana. I could see Moms going out. I could see Manamorphose going out. Gonna take a swing by Bryant's website real quick and see if this is one of his lists. Oh, the epicstorm.com is loading slowly. Okay, it's here. Okay, it looks like the white is for Orum's Chant. If this is Bryant's build, it's Veils and Orum's Chants. So out of the sideboard, I could get my creatures grape shotted. That's something to keep in mind. So the Moms aren't 100% dead. I think I'm gonna junk the Manamorphose and call most of the rest of this good. I don't think I super need Rest in Peace. Okay, this is a turn 3 kill. This will be a keep. I'm really soft to discard. Does this version have discard? Sure fucking doesn't. And that's a keeperino. Alright. Sure. Yeah. Okay, I mean, if I get turn 1, I get turn 1. I don't get to be mad about that. Okay. Is there a deterministic line from 6 mana? Probably not. It's probably just an empty. Okay. I play a land, I get attacked for 12. I play a land and a Witherbloom Apprentice. I get attacked for 11 and die. Can't come back from that. GG. Same configuration. All right. Let's see. So how much... Okay, so this is just another hand that Goldfish is on turn 3. So as long as my opponent doesn't kill me first, we've got it. I'm not sure what to do with the Abundant Harvest. I'm casting it. I guess if I found a Thoughts... let's do non-land, because I could find like a Force of Vigor. Alright, we converted it into a new Abundant Harvest. Not what I'm looking to do. God, are we gonna get turn 1'd twice? This is scary. I very likely am dead. God damn. Okay. Oh, if this is goblins again, I beat goblins this time. Yeah, I beat goblins this time. Because I get to play my creature and then play Chain of Smog because I'm on the play. Yep. This... I guess it depends if my opponent attacks all out. I will need a Berserk if they don't attack all out. I'll have to get through this. But I hope they just attack all. Bet they figured it out. Alright, so I'll block. I need to top a Berserk. And it has to be my natural draw, I believe. Shit. Yeah, because I don't think I can Abundant Harvest into it. I need 2 mana to Chain of Smog combo. I'll say non-land and see if I'm wrong and if there's something that gets me out of this. A Chain of Smog. I mean, yeah, I can make an infinitely sized creature, and then I don't have the trample to get through. Yeah, that sucks. Thought we were potentially good there. GG's. Okay, round 4. If this was a white land, we could keep this and do a lot of murdering, but it's not. And I don't have the second land for this. Let's mulligan. I can hit my second land drop. Is this better than mulliganing? So I go land, Abundant Harvest, cast it, get a second land. Then I play a Witherbloom Apprentice or a Guard. And I don't actually have a way to like really go off with them afterwards. I think I go to 5 rather than keep this. Yeah, this is probably the best hand so far. I'll throw back this and this. And we'll grab a Savannah. And put my creature in play. And we'll see what we can do with it in a bit. We're down 2 cards, and my hand's not great. Okay. Don't lightning bolt me. That's not a lightning bolt. That's fine. This is also fine. Like, I can just cantrip a couple of times and hit my opponent. So let's always yield to that. I think we'll go ahead and just go non-land with these and just cycle into more cards that I can play. Maybe now with a second Berserk, I pick a land. This goes big real quick. But I think I'm going to keep doing non-lands. Because finding a mutagenic growth to protect this from Lightning Bolt would be pretty dope. Alright, I attack for 4 on turn 2. Okay, opponent has a Daze that I'm now going to have to play around. So, ignoring the Daze for a second. So next turn, if I were to cast a Berserk, this would go up to 2 power, and it would double to 4 power. And I would cast a second Berserk, it would go up to 6 power, and then double to 12 power. So if I'm able to play around Daze and do a double Berserk thing, it's pretty good. But I am just worried about this getting lightning bolted, and then I have nothing. Not a lightning bolt. So I can go Berserk this, Berserk this. If both resolves, it's not lethal. And then I can cast Apostle's Blessing afterwards. And that gives me 14, even if my final spell is countered. I just go for that. A little awkward if my second spell just gets countered. Do it? I think I do it. Second Berserk. Ah, shit, they had a force. Knew about the Daze. Now I'm just gonna lose this creature. That's unfortunate. I think putting them to the test there was totally fine, though. But that means that this was just a 6 damage burn spell, which is not great when my opponent has 2 creatures on board. But after a mull to 5, I'm good for it. Like, that's fine. This game's gonna end quickly. My opponent is going to murder me. Dragon Rage Channeler probably flips this turn. Nope, I am only gonna take 4 this turn. That's good. Down to 11. Prospects are pretty grim, though. Very grim. So that brings me to 8. I'm effectively at 7, assuming I need this fetch land to do stuff. If the Dragon Rage Channeler does its thing, I think I'm guaranteed dead. Okay, yeah, so I cast this. My opponent hits me in the air for 3. Alright, I mean, I'll try. But if my opponent dazes this, I have to fetch, and then I'm dead to Delver. Or they can just have another force. Alright. Delver did Delver things. Begin sideboarding. In 4 Swords to Plowshares, in 3 Endurance. I've got 7 cards to work with here. Probably board out the Manamorphose. The Apostle's Blessing is slow. I'll probably junk those as well. And I'm not sure on the last slot. Maybe just an Abundant Harvest. Could also maybe be an Invigorate. But that's just a counterspell for a Lightning Bolt, so I think I like keeping them. So this is a slow hand. But this is not a bad hand, I don't think. I'm going to keep this and kind of hope that I can play a slower game. I think I will start out with a basic. I'm somewhat likely to want to play another Mother of Runes next turn. Like, it's pretty likely that I get Lightning Bolted or Fork Bolted here, and then I just want to do this again. Okay. Yep. Alright, I am correct. Ooh, Clever Lumimancer. I think I'll play up both my creatures this turn, not play around Daze, and play the card that I think matters more around Daze next turn. Yeah, this is fine. I am 100% good with that trade. Now I play this around Daze, because this is the creature that matters. And now my opponent can no longer, like, cantrip into a Lightning Bolt to answer this mom, which is great. Okay, yeah. And this is part of the reason why we played into Daze. Alright, no shuffle. Okay, that's quite good. I think I want to resolve the +1/+1 counter critter first. I can just cast this. Yeah. So the next question is, like, do I want to play around the Stifle that I know is potentially in their deck, or do I want to play around Wasteland? I think I want to play around Wasteland. Because otherwise I can't cast this Witherbloom Apprentice next turn. For sure. Okay. A brainstorm locked. This is all good with me. Abundant harvest is fine. I'm getting a little punished for fetching the basic plains on one there. If I get wastelanded, I could get knocked off green if I take a swamp. So I guess I'm grabbing Bayou. Yeah, maybe I messed up that decision earlier. But we'll see Dragon Rage Channeler do some work here. We have instant land sorcery in graveyard right now. Okay. Sure. Annoying, but acceptable. Okay, so I'll play this. I'll name non-land with Abundant Harvest. Start doing my draining. Double Berserk. So I can Berserk you to 4, Berserk you to 8. Not particularly great. I think I need to take an attack in. I think if my opponent had the ability to grow these things mid-combat. Oh. Okay, so do you have a Lightning Bolt? I could just let this go and trade for both of these. Or I could go for the protection, which is very bad if they do have the Lightning Bolt. What level are we on here? Okay, I think I accept this trade for both of their creatures. I boarded in endurances too, so I should have a fair number of threats. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Land go. You have slowed yourself down with Winter Orb. It made it harder for yourself to cast something like a Murktide Regent. I might end up berserking that Delver, by the way. Nice, nice. Probably kills pretty damn quick. The next turn, if I cast a Berserk, I go up to 3 power, I double it to 6. I cast a second Berserk, I go 7, double it to 14. Got a Spell Pierce to think about. I could Berserk this, kill the Delver. Spell Pierce could be annoying, but not the end of the world. Yeah, I think I'm willing to use this as a removal spell. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not in a rush here. Yep, I'll pay for that. I'll take 6 from the Delver, destroy the Delver, untap some land. Probably this one in case I draw Clever Lumimancer. Okay, I have a theoretical kill next turn. I don't know that I'll go for it next turn, but I might. I'm just ahead on board currently. Okay. Oh, it's the Goose. All right, with opponent having 1 card left in hand, do I just go for it? Probably. I probably Endurance nuke their graveyard, and then Chain of Smog. Alright, so junk your graveyard. Making the Goose worse. Now Chain of Smog target me. Is your last card Daze or Pierce? Seems like no. Okay, yeah. So we did have Mother of Runes, so once we made this as big as I wanted it to make, I would have discarded my opponent's last card, then given this protection and swung in. Okay, now that I know that my opponent has Nimble Mongoose, do I want Rest in Peace? I'm not sure that I actually do. Like, it has text. It has relevant text, but, like, Endurance is something that I can, like, Invigorate and Berserk and all that. Like, it trades with bodies as well. I'm not sure that I want Rest in Peace. Like, I would be looking at removing pump spells to get Rest in Peace, which is maybe okay, but I think I'm just going to run it back like this. This has a turn 2 YOLO kill, if I'm willing to do that. I'm probably not. I will probably just play out Mother of Runes on turn 1. We'll see, though. Goose is fine. Oh, my opponent is on 3 cards left in hand? Holy shit. This is not red producing. Yeah, maybe that means I am supposed to play this slower. Like, exhaust their resources. I don't know. Like, if their answer to Lumimancer is a Lightning Bolt, I just have that beat via the Invigorate. Yeah, I don't know. Let's play this. It resolves. Sure, that's fine. That makes me a little more wary of just going for it, because I get a couple looks at counter spells here. And they could let me just, like, Chain of Smog my hand away and do gross things to me. I don't think I'm supposed to try to kill the Nimble Mongoose in combat. I think I'm supposed to keep this as something that kills, that protects from a Lightning Bolt. Okay. A little annoying. That is what it is. That's very good. Do I want to get Savannah, or do I just want to play Mom into whatchamacallit, Chain? I probably want to get Savannah so I can cast Invigorate for free. Will Mom resolve? Ooh, force pitching Spell Pierce. That bodes well for me. Okay. And again, we're just gonna hold the Invigorate. We're not gonna try to get cute versus Nimble Mongoose. Yeah, that's fine. Opponent now has 0 cards in hand. Okay, the Delver means that while I can produce infinite this turn, it's not actually a kill. I can kill if I get Berserk, and it's not quite lethal on its own this turn, so I'll just play the Elite, and then I can have 2 lethal attackers next turn. Good stuff. What happens with the Delver? Oh, a Spell Pierce. That's annoying. Yeah, I'll take that damage. Yeah, just drawing a land is totally fine. So I'll just kill my opponent when I get to 4 mana. I think I'm going to just main phase... Yeah, I think I'm just going to chill, hold back. I think I'm just going to main phase the Endurance when I know it is not going to get countered no matter what. I don't think I want to get cute and then lose this thing that buys me just so very much time. Now I think this is probably a safe attack, though. Now that I have the Endurance that I can just hold back. Yeah, sure, Brainstorm away. We're mostly looking for my opponent to put themselves in a situation where I know I can resolve Chain of Smog. So if they tap out, that would be one of those situations. Really? Really? I mean, I'll take this block all day. Again, I don't think we need to get cute. Like, let's just protect my stuff from removal. Yeah, that can die. Okay. Opponent put themselves in a situation where they have 0 cards left. They are dead. To just make this go faster, I will cast a Berserk here. Always yield. Always yield. Gain some life. I'll invigorate as well. I also just think this is probably lethal, right? It is lethal. But I was going to show them that I still had all these. Okay, so if we play Mother of Runes, the invigorate, that's up to 9 damage. We can double it to 18, but that's not going to be lethal. A, because my opponent has 20 life, and B, because I'm going to feed them a bunch. I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. Okay, what about this hand? This hand probably does a decent amount of damage. I think I can keep this. And let's assume that we're trying to kill with Clever Lumimancers rather than Witherbloom Apprentice this time. I'm going to be pretty darn bad versus a Wasteland. Okay. Sure. I'd probably have a turn 3 Goldfish if I were to guess. Now Witherbloom Apprentice is back. Joy. Alright, so that's an easy Savannah, because I need the green for Invigorate and probably Metamorphose, and I need to cast this on turn 1. Alright, good stuff. I probably play another Clever Lumimancer with my turn, and then hope to kill on turn 3. Well, hold up. Alright, Invigorate is... I should really just add 2 to these numbers, so I can go for it. I can Invigorate, Mutagenic Growth, Berserk, and attempt to go for a kill. Playing around, just fucking nothing. Or I can just play out another Clever Lumimancer. If my opponent is playing a combo deck like Ant, then I really just want to jam. And if they're playing a control deck, I do not want to jam. Let's see if MTG Goldfish has results for this player anytime recently. Rodomirtus _81. Oop, I spelled their name wrong. Rodomir. Playing Wug. Okay, they were last on a Bant control deck. I think if they go no blocks, I will go all in. That means no Ice Fang. I think there's going to be a bunch of blockers later. Alright, Mutagenic Growth. And I Berserk. Do you have Swords to Plowshares or a counterspell? Alright, you have a Force of Negation. That's fine. I'm still hitting for 12. Not bad, Clever Lumimancer. Not bad at all. Did good work, kid. Okay. The fairy's a little annoying, but not particularly annoying if I draw another land so that I can double spell. Nice. Okay. And I think double Clever Lumimancer is better then Witherbloom Apprentice. Okay, Teferi pluses. Yeah, Brainstorm away. My opponent's last list is over a month old, so it's not super recent. They were playing a Days Undoing build when they were last playing this. No land drop Metamorphose? Oh, land drop Metamorphose. I'm not expecting Days, but I can play around it at no cost. Terminus is gonna pretty savagely fuck up my shit, though. Okay. I mean, that's annoying. So I'll make black green. I don't get to draw a card. I'll play this out. And I think I'm probably supposed to kill the Teferi rather than take 2 points of damage here. Hull Breacher got a 2-for-1 here. Oh, wow. I am very surprised they did not take a trade there. Like, do they just have a Days Undoing? Okay, sure. So, against this, I probably board out Manamorphose since it's, I think, my only card that cantrips. Sure. I am real bad versus a sweeper. Otherwise, just like anything I draw is pretty devastating. Yeah, sure, Ice Fang is fine. My opponent's previous list had triple Days Undoing. It did not have any main deck sweepers. It did not have any sideboard sweepers. Okay, there's an Engineered Explosives. Ah, fuck. There it is. That's rough. That's a 3-for-1. I still think it was very correct to play out the Mom, though, to play around both Swords to Plowshares and Prismatic Ending. Sure. Alright, they have a Days Undoing. That's a major pain in the butt. Get fucked! Oh my god, do I have triple Savannah? I'm so upset right now. What a fucking roller coaster of emotions. I have triple Savannah when I have the kill in hand. My opponent's gonna Days Undoing it away in all likelihood. Rough. Uh-huh. Yeah. In case you haven't seen how that works before, my opponent gets 7 treasures and draws 7 cards. It's pretty good. Yeah. I think I'm comfortable conceding the game here for the sake of viewer experience. I'm not going to beat my opponent from that position, even though they are at 7 life. That's super annoying. So I know my opponent has a whole bunch of ways to shut off my card draw, so I am going to just eliminate Manamorphose and probably play either a way to punch through or Endurance just to fill slots. What do I think about it? My opponent's got a bunch of card advantage to Thoughtseize. Doesn't seem necessarily like the best thing in the world, but it does make things safer. I think I care about that. Because I'm not going to win the long game versus my opponent. Okay, with any land, this hand just murders. I think I keep this. I don't know how to play this turn. I kind of like want all 3 for different reasons. I think I take the Scrub. That guarantees me my first 2 plays. Well, fuck me. Okay. Opponent has like all the bases covered here. I think Swords to Plowshares is the most annoying of those, but it's real close. I don't expect to beat that hand. Like, that's Death Toucher plus EE plus a counterspell. And first 3 land drops covered. I assume they're just going to run the EE out on 1. Yep. Green land? Nope. I mean, we'll trade with the EE. That's fine. Okay. Alright, so that's a green land. That's quite good. I'm not going to play around back to basics. I just don't think I can beat that this game. I'm just going to grab a Savannah here. Go ahead and play out the Elite. Somewhat annoyingly, my opponent will be able to potentially play out Ice Fang Coatl this turn. Yeah. And they'll just kind of leave Engineered Explosives as something that's looming. They're not guaranteed to have a blue card for Force of Negation anymore, but it's pretty likely they still do. Yaha. There's also a world where they miss this land drop and he doesn't do anything this turn. Okay. I think I want to continue to live under the assumption that they're not going to be able to sweep my 2-drops and just play this out this turn. And I'll just go for making as many attacks as I can at the same time. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Ah, fuck. Alright, let's get another land here. I'll go ahead and just attack in with both of these. Can't do anything about the EE. I think there were 2 of those in the list, so that's a little unlucky. It's one of those, like, it is what it is. Oh, are they really not going to crack this? Hmm. Okay. That's fine. They let me have that damage. That seemed like a slam dunk from my end. Obviously, I'm wrong. God damn. Just covered from every axis. Okay. The wording of Berserk. If it attacked. If it attacked this turn. Okay. I'm losing these anyway. Just Bayou for variety. Actually, this one doesn't make sense to do because it gives my opponent more life, and they're just going to EE that away. I will just treat this as something that puts a +1/+1 counter on this. I won't cast the Invigorate, though. Okay. Let's dismiss that, and let's start poking a hole in whatever is going on over there. Ah, more EE. This is just... Yikes. Okay. I guess I can never protect from EE. So I take that. Then I fire off a second one of these. I guess I take the Ice Fang. I don't know, maybe I just, like, kill through that eventually. Maybe I take the Jace. Okay. So now my opponent will crack their EE. Yeah, that's fine. I'll play out a Mother of Runes. And I'll use an Apostle's Blessing to protect it. Oh, wait, hold up. Hold up. How is Berserk worded? I think something super interesting just happened. I think Berserk destroys it at the beginning of the next end step, and I think Days Undoing ended the turn. So if my opponent didn't crack their EE, they could have just taken some damage and my creature would have destroyed itself. That's super cool. Am I going to continue to just ignore the existence of Back to Basics? I probably have enough land now that I can, like, reasonably grab a forest. Here's my white counterspell. Sure. Okay, yep, sure. Oh, they've got more. Yeah, this deck, I think, is very much built to prey on Delver with, like, multiple EEs, swords, and prismatic ending, so it's not too surprising that I'm having trouble grinding through this. Okay. Let's fetch a basic, and again, start playing around back to basics now that we've kind of made it to the end game. I have damn near lethal next turn, but the Ice Fang Coatl is a problem. Yep. Alright. Opponent picked up Prismatic Ending. Sucks for me. I'll take a love tap here. I did a lot of damage to myself because I've done 6 or so to myself. 8 or so to myself. Slotseize worth casting. I don't think the Slotseize is worth casting right now. I think it's worth casting right before I try to go for lethal. Or maybe right before I play a creature. But with, like, the existence of things like Brainstorm, and my opponent having, like, a hard bank in the form of Narset, I just fire this off immediately. Yeah, shit. Yeah. Bounce the Ice Fang. Nope. Okay. Okay. So Narset plus that is pretty gross. So that's draw step. I lose all my cards. Feel like we can go ahead and concede there. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Very good. I liked this quite a bit, and I'm not just saying that because I put it together. There was some slight meta awkwardness, and we kind of knew that going in. You know, I turned this into a 3-color deck. I think I improved the mana base from the original, but, you know, when you need to get, like, a scrubland, for example, for your initial sequencing, that's something that doesn't turn on Invigorate. That's something that we saw a couple of times. But the core of this deck, I think, is pretty good. I am least certain about the Apostle's Blessing. It's something that can force damage through and be an additional Mother of Runes type card, but, like, this doesn't contribute towards the opponent actually dying. It's a weird, like, counterspell or falter effect. It's flexible. It's not bad, but I'm least sold on that spot. Metamorphose sometimes allows you to fix some mana woes, and like, that's fine as well. Another thing that I could reasonably see doing is just cutting the Manamorphose for more pump spells of some nature. I'd have to double check wording, but I think you could do something like a scale up or equivalent and then still get the pluses from the Clever Lumimancer triggers. That could be something to think about. As far as the sideboard goes, I felt like I liked my sideboard options quite a bit. Yeah, I don't think I'd change too much about this. I think this is kind of in the state where like you can tweak this. I do want to mention that like we would have gone 4-1 in most leagues that were. I think most of the time when we played the matchups that we did, we would have gone 4-1. Because our TES opponent had 2 different turn 1 Empty the Warren's hands, which is pretty darn uncommon. That's not something that that deck does anymore. And I also had a couple of situations where it's like, oh, if I had drawn 1 different land, then I had a Chain of Smog kill. Like this was a good league. This wasn't like 3-2 barely got the butt over the bar. This was like a 3-2 that could have been better with like a teeny thing being different. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button. It's the easiest way to support me for free. If you're new here, consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 5 days a week. And if you really want to support me, consider a YouTube membership for access to some exclusive videos or doing a donation deck list of your own. Have a great rest of the day.